Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're tackling something lots of crypto projects struggle with. How do you actually use social media to grab the attention of serious investors fast?
Yeah, it's a real challenge. The space is incredibly noisy, right?
Right.
Standing out is tough.
Totally. So we've dug into this to find strategies that are effective but also, resilient, things that actually work long term. Our mission today basically is to understand how crypto projects can really use social platforms, not just for clicks, but to get investor interest and build real trust.
That trust piece is key.
Absolutely. And just quickly, if you're starting out and need that initial boost, that kind of impactful first impression on your socials, there are services like rapidboost.net that help with exactly that, building that early presence.
Good point. Getting that initial momentum can be helpful.
Okay, so kicking things off, there's this persistent idea, isn't there, that serious crypto investors, the big money, they're not really scrolling through Twitter or Discord. Is there any truth to that?
Well, it's a bit of a myth, or at least an oversimplification, especially in crypto. I mean, sure, major institutional due diligence happens offline, lots of spreadsheets, serious calls.
Right, that's the image you have.
Exactly. But you just can't dismiss social media's role. It's become this vital, information pipeline for everyone involved.
How so? Why is it so critical, even for the bigger players?
It comes down to speed and transparency. The crypto market moves unbelievably fast.
Lightning speed.
Yeah. Platforms like Twitter, Telegram, Discord, they offer instant updates, direct lines of communication. It's where the conversation happens in real time.
So if you're not there,
If you're not active, you're basically invisible to those immediate conversations. You're missing the pulse, missing the sentiment.
right, you're out of the loop. And I think our research mentioned something about community being huge here, too.
Oh, absolutely massive. A strong, active online community acts as powerful social proof in crypto.
Social proof. Like seeing other people are interested makes it seem more legit.
Precisely. When investors check out a project and see tons of genuine engagement, real enthusiasm, that's a huge green flag. It signals legitimacy, momentum. There was actually a Cointelegraph survey in 2022
Oh, yeah.
found that 70% of early-stage crypto investors said a project's Twitter and Discord activity heavily influenced their decisions.
Wow, 70%.
Yeah.
You can't ignore that.
You really can't. It's like seeing that queue outside a new shop makes you think something good must be going on.
Yeah, good analogy.
And social media fuels this user-generated momentum. Excited holders share stuff, influencers run AMAs, retweets, amplify everything.
It just snowballs.
Exactly. It creates that FOMO, fear of missing out, which is, let's be honest, a big driver for funding rounds and token launches.
Right, that pressure to get in before it's too late. And it's not just broadcasting, is it? It's a two-way street.
Totally. Think about Reddit, Telegram again. They're amazing for instant feedback. You post an update, you get immediate reactions.
Good or bad.
Good or bad. And that lets projects adapt super quickly, address concerns, show they're listening. That responsiveness builds massive trust.
Okay, so social isn't just optional, it's fundamental. But how does a project move beyond just being there to actually crafting a message that investors connect with? It can't just be hype, right?
Definitely not. Investors are getting smarter, more skeptical. They need more than just, a dense white paper. They want a vision, a story they can actually buy into.
So how do you craft that story, that brand narrative?
It starts with clarity. You need to nail down your purpose. What problem are you solving? Why this team? What's your unique edge?
Your unique selling proposition, basically.
Kind of, yeah. But more than just features, it's the vision. Think about Ethereum early on, that world computer idea. It was big, memorable, it captured the imagination.
That really stuck. Okay, so you have the big vision, but how do you build trust on a human level? Especially with all the, let's say, less reputable projects out there, rug pulls and things.
Yeah, transparency is non-negotiable. You have to combat that skepticism. Things like short video intros of the founders, the core team, makes it human.
Puts a face to the name.
Exactly. Regular AMAs where people can ask direct questions, linking to LinkedIn profiles, showing actual GitHub contributions, tangible proof. Look at Chainlink's Meet the Devs series, really effective at grounding the tech.
I like that. And showing progress, not just promises.
Oh, vital. You've got to show, not just tell. Regular demo videos, updates on code releases, real testimonials from early users, concrete evidence things are moving.
And visuals help.
Hugely. Good infographics explaining tokenomics, short GIFs showing how the app works, makes complex stuff way more digestible.
Okay, makes sense. Listen, show progress, be human. Now, platforms, there are so many. Twitter, Discord, Telegram, Reddit, YouTube. Where should projects actually focus their energy? You can't be everywhere effectively, right?
Right, that's a key strategic choice. Different platforms serve different needs and attract different crowds in the crypto world.
Let's break it down then. Crypto Twitter, everyone talks about it. What's its main role?
Think of Twitter as the real-time nerve center. News breaks there, sentiment shifts fast, thought leaders hang out there.
So it's about speed and influence.
Pretty much, but it's not just shouting your own news, it's about sharing value. Insightful on-chain data, thoughts on market trends, clear explanations of your tech, and engaging thoughtfully responding to influencers like, say, Pomp or even Vitalik if it makes sense. That boosts visibility. Polygon did great stuff with Twitter Spaces, for example.
Right, engaging in the actual conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, what about Telegram and Discord? They seem like the community hubs.
They absolutely are. That's where you build depth and provide direct support. You can have more detailed conversations, answer tricky technical questions, really nurture that core group of early believers.
More intimate, maybe?
Yeah, definitely. Setting up specific channels, announcements, dev talk, general chat keeps it organized. And having good community managers is critical. People who moderate, answer questions, stop FUD from spreading.
Got it. Twitter for Pulse, Telegram, Discord for depth. What about platforms like YouTube or podcasts? Are they still relevant with everything moving so fast?
Oh, definitely. They're powerful for building long-term authority. Think educational content, deep dives, explainers, investor Q&As on live streams. That positions you as knowledgeable.
And guesting on established shows.
Huge potential there. Getting on something like Unchained or Bankless exposes you to a big, engaged audience. Plus, that content is often evergreen. People find it through search months, even years later.
True, that long tail effect. And Reddit, still a place for serious discussion.
For sure, especially specific subreddits or even older forums. It's good for reaching those more technically minded investors who appreciate substance. You post detailed updates, do thorough AMAs, really listen to the feedback. Algorand used Reddit effectively early on to build its initial base.
Interesting. So maybe fewer eyeballs, but potentially more dedicated ones. Lastly, LinkedIn. Seems a bit corporate for crypto.
You'd think so, but it's crucial if you're targeting institutional money, VCs, accredited investors, a polished company page sharing milestones, partnerships, technical papers. It projects that professionalism this audience looks for.
Okay, so it's definitely not one size fits all. You tailor the platform to the audience. Now, the content itself, we know where to post, but what actually works or converts a follower into an investor?
Content needs to do a few jobs. Educate, genuinely excite, create that positive FOMO, and solve investor pain points, answer their questions. It has to provide real value.
Okay, give us some examples of high-value content.
Educational deep dives are always good. Breaking down complex tech or tokenomics into, say, an engaging Twitter thread, or a clear slide deck for LinkedIn, or a simple explainer video. Analogies really help here.
Making the complex simple.
Exactly. Like how Solana explained proof of history in simple terms. That cut through. Then, transparent progress reports are non-negotiable.
What does that look like in practice?
Weekly dev updates, clear milestones hit, showing how funds are being used maybe with charts or stats, sharing results from third-party security audits. It builds immense trust.
Proof of work, essentially.
Yeah. And then there's user-generated content, testimonials, people sharing screenshots of them using your dApp, NFT unboxings. That stuff feels authentic. Far more than slick marketing sometimes. Even running meme competitions can work wonders for engagement.
Yeah, the community gets involved. What about influencers?
Strategic partnerships, yes. Collaborating with reputable influencers and always disclosing sponsorships, that's vital for AMAs, reviews, maybe day-in-the-life content. It can really broaden your reach.
But choose carefully, you're saying.
Absolutely. Reputation matters. And finally, use data. On-chain stats showing usage, user growth charts, even Google Trends for your niche. Data provides that hard evidence, the why now argument.
So education, transparency, user proof, smart partnerships, and data. Got it. That covers getting them interested. But keeping them, fostering that long-term loyalty, that seems like the next hurdle.
It absolutely is. Trust is fragile in crypto. Building that lasting credibility is maybe the most important thing for long-term relationships. Investors need to feel secure and valued.
So how do you achieve that? What are the keys to long-term trust?
Radical transparency helps, like really radical. Maybe live streaming key team meetings, publishing governance minutes, When problems hit, and they will address them openly. Explain the issue, explain the fix, don't hide.
Own it.
Exactly. And community governance is huge. Letting users actually vote on features, partnerships, how treasury funds are spent, using polls, or even on-chain voting, that gives them real ownership.
Makes them feel invested. Literally.
Yeah.
What about rewarding people for sticking around?
Yeah, loyalty programs, exclusive NFT airdrops for active members, spotlighting top contributors, making people feel seen and appreciated. Transparency bounties rewarding users for finding bugs can also foster collaboration.
That's smart. And crisis management. Dealing with FUD.
You need a plan. Have templated responses ready for common issues, like hacks or market dips. Responding quickly, professionally, factually, it stops misinformation spreading and shows you're in control.
Be prepared, basically.
Okay.
Okay, that's a solid framework. Now, for listeners wanting to act on this, what's a practical step-by-step approach, like a mini playbook?
Okay, let's try an 8-step playbook. 1. Audit your baseline. Use tools like Sprout Social or Brandwatch to see where you stand now, followers, engagement, sentiment.
Know your starting point. Okay.
2. Clarify your investor persona. Who are you really trying to reach? Retail, institutions, devs. Be specific.
Tailor the message. Step 3.
3. Set schedules. Plan your content, educational stuff, AMAs, updates, and your community interaction. Use tools like Buffer or TweetDeck to stay consistent.
Plan and automate. Makes sense. 4.
4. Launch Tier 1 influencer AMAs. Partner with genuinely respected voices, not just anyone with followers. Aim for quality over quantity.
Strategic partnerships again.
5. Incentivize early engagement. Reward those first supporters, whitelist spots, NFTs, maybe some governance power. Run competitions to build buzz fast.
Get the ball rolling. 6.
6. Apply growth analytics. Track everything. Which platforms, which content drives results. Double down on what works, cut what doesn't.
Data-driven decisions. 7.
7. Proactively manage FUD. Monitor conversations, respond quickly and factually. Stay professional, don't get dragged into arguments.
Stay calm and factual. And finally, 8.
8. Continuously educate. Keep your audience informed with regular deep dives, project updates. Context matters.
That's a great actionable list. Audit, define, schedule, partner, incentivize, analyze, manage FUD, educate. And as we do all this, what metrics should we be tracking? What are the key KPIs?
Good question. You need to watch things like Telegram and Discord growth and engagement levels, not just numbers, but activity.
Quality over quantity.
Right. On Twitter, look at your impression to follower ratio. Are people actually seeing your stuff? Track conversion rates, clicks, turning into signups or users. Monitor brand sentiment, positive versus negative mentions, and average response time to questions, or FUD. Speed matters for trust.
So growth, engaging quality, reach, actual conversions, sentiment, and responsiveness.
Got it.
We also put together a quick summary of the platforms, right? Just a reminder.
Yeah, just a quick recap. Twitter, best for real-time news, thought leadership, quick updates. Telegram, great for core community building, direct support, daily interaction.
Okay.
Discord, ideal for deeper technical chat, developer support, governance. Reddit, good for thoughtful long-form discussion. AMAs, addressing FAQs.
Right.
YouTube, powerful for long-term authority, educational videos, demos, pitches. And LinkedIn, essential for reaching institutional investors, VCs, sharing official milestones, and PR.
Perfect cheat sheet. So looking ahead now, what's the future hold for this intersection of social media and crypto fundraising? It feels like it's always evolving.
It really is. I think we'll see investing become even more democratized, which means competition for attention will get even fiercer.
More noise to cut through.
Exactly. We'll likely see more use of AI for content, more sophisticated on-chain analytics feeding directly into social strategies, and an even higher expectation for projects to be ultra-responsive and deeply engaged with their communities.
So tech and communication have to work even closer together.
Absolutely. Success won't just be about the tech breakthrough anymore. It'll be equally about mastering that digital storytelling, building that magnetic community, genuine excitement, transparency, support that's going to be just as vital as the code.
Fascinating. So it's really that blend. Any final thoughts for our listeners trying to navigate this?
Yeah, I'd say if you want to win with social media and crypto, be nimble, be authentic, always focus on providing real value, know where your audience is, create content that hits home, and leverage that social proof.
Analyze, experiment, iterate.
Constantly. There's no magic bullet, but the core principles hold. Humanize your project, educate your audience, build momentum through real engagement.
So the final thought for everyone listening might be, how can your project uniquely blend that technical credibility with that dynamic, engaging social presence? Because ultimately, that's what makes investors really pay attention and stick around.